Noah didn't post a warning. He didn't tease a return. He just showed up and beat the Olympic champion. Noah Lyles ran 1988 in Monaco, and for the first time in nearly a year, he looked like himself again. But that's not what has people talking. What's more surprising is how many people had already moved on. Tebogo was supposed to be the new showman. Knighton, the quiet assassin. Ariane Brown, the future. And Lyles? To some, he was starting to look like the past, overexposed, injury-prone, too busy branding to be building. Even as recently as a month ago, the narrative was shifting. Too many off days, too many excuses, too many people asking, is he still that guy? He didn't argue, he didn't explain, he disappeared. No Diamond League races, no media circuits, no viral mic moments, just silence. And then, out of nowhere, Monaco. No build-up, no fireworks, just a clean curve, a controlled finish, and a clock that stopped at 1988. Noah Lyles had every reason to let the season drift. But he chose something else. Timing, precision, payback. This wasn't a comeback. It was a reminder. But to understand why it mattered so much, why that one race changed everything for him, you've got to rewind. Because to see where Lyles is headed now, you have to see where the crown started to slip. Back in 2023, Noah Lyles wasn't just fast, he was dominant. Triple gold at the World Championships, a 9.83 in the 100 meters, a 1952 in the 200. He walked through press conferences like he owned the stadium. And maybe he did. Then came the Olympic year. In 2024, all eyes were on Paris and Lyles. The expectation wasn't just medals, it was legacy. But the games didn't go as planned. He took bronze in the 100, silver in the 200. Still elite, but not unbeatable, not invincible. And for the first time in a while, the crown looked within reach. He wasn't just sprinting, he was talking, thinking, provoking. He challenged the NBA. He roasted his rivals. He marketed himself with the confidence of a man who knew he'd back it all up. And he did, every time. So when 2025 began, he wasn't just the man to beat. He was the brand, the face, the blueprint. But early in the season, something shifted. First, it was race withdrawals. Then whispers of hamstring issues. Then, quiet. He skipped early Diamond League meets. He appeared at US trials but didn't light up the track. And the sprinters who had once chased him started to rise. Letsile Tebogo took gold in the Olympic 100 meters. Knighton and Hughes sharpened their starts. New challengers emerged. And while the world moved forward, Lyles was stuck in neutral. Some said he was hiding. Some said he was resting. And some wondered if the man who made sprinting fun again had already had his moment. He didn't push back. Not with words, not with tweets, not with interviews. He let the criticism build like static in the background. And then, he ran 1988. It wasn't a record. It wasn't even a personal best. But it was a reset. It reminded people that when he's healthy and when he's focused, Noah Lyles is still the most dangerous sprinter on the planet over 200 meters. It reminded people that silence doesn't mean absence. It means he's building something worth waiting for. In 2024, Noah Lyles didn't fall. He just didn't feel dominant. He earned bronze in the 200-meter and photo finish gold in the 100-meter at the Paris Olympics. A victory marked by a dramatic 0.5-second margin over Jamaica's Keishane Thompson. It should have been an exclamation point, Instead, it felt like a question. He'd just done what so many thought he couldn't: win the Olympic 100 again for the USA. And yet, the global narrative had already shifted. The momentum built in 2023, triple World Championships gold, a 9.52 in the 200, was now crossing wires in the collective memory. And when 2025 began, the silence that followed Paris overwhelmed the noise he'd once commanded. He skipped Doha, didn't show for Oslo, vanished from New York's meet list. Not a single Diamond League appearance. Even the US trials fell flat. No grand statement, no declarations, just quiet absence. Meanwhile, others rose. Letsile Tebogo claimed 200-meter supremacy. Ariane Knighton smashed iceberg splits. His rivals weren't waiting for Lyles. They were rewriting the script. The questions piled up. Did he peak in Paris? Is he hurt again? Did the spotlight finally burn him out? This wasn't just physical silence. It was narrative silence. The man who once owned track and field wasn't there, and the world took note. Fans tweeted, "Noah's gone missing this season." Pundits asked, "Is the new guard ready to take over?" Critics whispered, "Is Lyles even focusing on racing anymore, or just his brand?" All of this, while he said nothing. No interviews, no Instagram videos, just meet lists, just gaps, just a season slipping away. Then, with no announcement or build-up, Monaco happened. Lane 5, 200 meters, Noah Lyles. The name on the start list didn't explain it all, but he just gave the opening lines back to himself. On July 11, 2025, at the Hercules Monaco Diamond League, Noah Lyles stepped back onto the track after a long absence. No recent races and lingering whispers about injury. The stadium was quiet. His presence loaded with questions. Has he lost his fire? Then came the gun. He blazed through the curve shoulder to shoulder with Olympic 200 m champion Letsile Tebogo. And in the final 50 meters, he broke away decisively, crossing the line in 19.88 seconds against Tebogo's 19.97. No backflips, no chest pumping, just a sharp glance at the clock, a breath, and confirmation. He's back. This wasn't a personal best. It wasn't a championship time, but it was a statement that said, health, focus, intent. A reclaiming of control over a season that had drifted. Reuters captured it. Lyles wins Tebogo rematch, showed dominant form despite recent health concerns. And from Diamond League coverage, he just gave the opening lines back to himself. This race answered the silent question hanging over him. Is he still the threat he once was? Yes, entirely. Let's break it down. The first 100 meters looked like a man reclaiming territory. Clean start, assertive posture, smooth transition into the bend. The second half showed controlled aggression. He didn't burn out. He surged when it counted. That late phase pull wasn't just speed, it was timing, strategy, and muscle memory all coming avalanche style. And after the win, no grand speech, no media circus, just a few calm words. I put myself in the fire. I don't feel any pressure. He sounded like a man in control, for the first time all season. Monaco didn't just reintroduce Lyles to the Diamond League. It reignited the conversation. Qualifying for World Championships? He's already set. But momentum? Bavarian streets? Championship races? Now they've got their headline act back. He's not the loudest name in sprinting anymore. But in the race that matters most, Monaco showed he might still be the one pulling the strings. And that is the kind of quiet return that changes everything. For the first time in over a year, Noah Lyles didn't need to convince anyone of anything. He didn't need to talk about injuries, didn't need to hint at comeback arcs, didn't even need to smile for the cameras. Because in Monaco, everything people had questioned was answered in 19.88 seconds. The hamstring problems, they weren't visible. Not in the clean lift off the curve, not in the final 50 meters where he stretched out the win. His stride looked like it used to. His posture was controlled. The fear that maybe something was still off, gone. But it wasn't just the physical return that landed, it was what it meant. Before Monaco, it wasn't a guarantee that Lyles would even contend at the World Championships in Tokyo. Now, he's not just back in the mix, he might be leading it. One meet doesn't win medals, but it resets momentum. And in the world of sprinting, momentum is everything. Just a month ago, the spotlight had shifted. Tebogo was the talk. Knighton was ascending. Arion Brown was the name for the future. Lyles, he was the maybe, the if, the we'll see. Now, his name is back at the center of it all. Not because he said anything flashy, not because he created viral moments, but because he showed up, did the work, and shut it all down with a single race. That's the part that changed most. The version of Lyles we saw in 2023 built his brand on performance and presence. He talked, he joked, he stirred, and he could, because he backed it up. But this time, he let the racing speak first. No posturing, no pre-race sound bites, just time. It's a version of Noah Lyles we haven't seen before. Older, quieter, more precise, but still just as dangerous. And if he can carry this shape into Tokyo, the implications go beyond medals. This isn't just about winning a race anymore. It's about building a legacy. Olympic champion, world champion, now poised for another world title run. A clean season from this point on, and a medal finish in Tokyo would put him in the upper tier of American sprint history. Not just for his times, not just for his flair, but for his ability to go through the fire and come back better. That's what Monaco revealed. Not just that Noah Lyles is back, but that he's building towards something even bigger. And this time, he's letting the silence do the talking.